call Newman City Council Redevelopment Agency regular meeting of March 22nd, 2011 to order, please. Please stand. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Councilman Hutchins, please.
Father, we just ask tonight that you will give us wisdom in each and everything we do. Father, I just want to ask also tonight to really be remembering our soldiers and sailors as they're in the Libyan conflict now, for the people in Japan, for this terrible thing that has happened to them. And we just ask you'll be with us again. Just give us wisdom. So we praise you and thank you. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Don. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Present.
Hutchins.
Present.
Candia. Present. Mayor Pro Tem Martinez.
Present.
Mayor King.
Present. Thank you. Item 5, declaration of conflicts of interest. Seeing none, we'll go to item 6, ceremonial matters, and we do have one presentation this evening. It's a presentation of a certificate of appreciation to Mr. Ed Perry. Garner.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Thank you very much. Tonight, we'd like to take the opportunity to recognize Mr. Ed Perry. A little bit of background on him. He has about 36 years with the UC Extension Program for the colleges, University of California colleges. He's retired as the farm advisor. And he was he retired his last 8 years as the director for horticulture. Probably got a little bit of that incorrect. I tried to get some background. You can clarify for that. We're here tonight to recognizing he came forth to us and volunteered to come into the plaza, recognizing the project, to look at our trees and help us to make sure that they grow properly, and also took the time to train the public works staff on how to properly clean the trees, and volunteered every year to come in and help us do that. We thought it was important that we take this opportunity to recognize him for his efforts. Therefore, the city would like to take this opportunity to present to Mr. Ed Perry and recognize him for his valuable contributions to the downtown plaza and give him a certificate of appreciation.
All right. Great. Thank you, sir. Go ahead. Take the mic.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Mayor, the City Council, and Garner for this very nice recognition. I thought I would put my 36 years in horticultural research and education to some use in retirement. You folks have the city, and you folks who were behind that project have some wonderful trees down there. I complimented Garner on the quality of those trees that were planted. They truly were high-quality trees, and when I saw them, I knew I had to be a part of training them and bringing them to full development, because those are going to be long-term trees that beautify that area for many years, and with proper training that can be assured. So it's a pleasure to have worked with your staff.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And thank you once again for this honor.
Thank you, Ed.
It's not working.
We have some audio technical difficulties.
Yeah. Garner doesn't know the difference between ON and OFF.
That's part of next week's training.
Yeah.
Thank you, Garner. Thank you, Ed. Sure appreciate your help. Expertise is always good to have on hand, especially when it's free.
Didn't she tell him, Ed?
Okay, we'll go to item 7, items from the public, non-agenda items. Any member of the public wish to address the council? Now's the time to do it. Seeing none, we'll move up to item 8, consent calendar. A is waive all readings of ordinances and resolutions set by title. B is approval of the warrants. C is approval of the minutes of the March 8, 2011 regular meeting. D is adopt resolution number 2011 next to number of resolution rejecting the claim of Joseph P. Villanueva. Direction?
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9, public hearings. We don't have any this evening, so we'll go to item 10, regular business. A is adopt resolution number 2011 next to number of resolution adopting the revised City of Newman Local Hazard Mitigation Plan and the Stanislaus County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Lieutenant Short.
Mayor, Council members, that's a
Welcome.
mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
Good to be here tonight. Tonight before you, we have our local hazard mitigation plan. It's a revision that is due every 5 years. The last one was completed in 2005. And Stanislaus County has lots of damage that occurs from natural hazards such as flooding, wildfires in the hill portions of Stanislaus County. And in order to get grant funding later on, we need to have a hazard mitigation plan in place. So in cooperation with the county, City of Newman, and other local jurisdictions have come together to create one multi-jurisdictional local hazard mitigation plan. And that is before you tonight. You have that, except for the maps are not in there because they're too large to copy down in there. The plan specifically addresses risk assessment, hazard mitigation strategies, and plan maintenance procedures for the City of Newman. The plan recommends several hazard mitigation actions and projects that will provide mitigation for specific natural and human-caused hazards that impact the City of Newman. Staff recommends that you approve this and adopt a resolution for the local hazard mitigation plan revision.
This plan has to be in place to be considered for disaster funding.
Correct. For any
Such as a
grants after
flood.
the fact.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
And this has been approved by FEMA, and it's just waiting this final adoption, and then it'll go forward, and we're good for 5 years.
And Marnie's still over at the county?
She is.
Good. All right.
She's
Any
been
questions?
Been a great help for me.
Yeah, yeah. I went through this process with her when we first did ours years ago, so it's very well done. Any questions, Lieutenant Short?
I just have one quick question. I spoke to him earlier because I noticed in his timeline that he had asked several times for up-to-date GIS mapping, and apparently they have not sent us up-to-date and told him that the old ones were fine. And is there any way that they may be fine, but we do have new neighborhoods that are not
That's right.
on the old ones.
That's right.
So is there any way we can look into getting up-to-date mapping?
Yeah, Stephanie generally works with county staffing on making sure that our base maps are updated, so I'll double check with her and see where we're at. And then forward it on to Lieutenant Short if necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Council direction?
I'll make a motion we adopt the revised City of Newman local hazard mitigation plan and the Stanislaus County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan.
I second that motion.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Go to item B, report on Newman Historical Society's request. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. Attached to your staff memo is a letter from the Newman Historical Society. They would like to have a conversation tonight with the council regarding two things. One would be the reestablishment of the Rose Garden within Pioneer Park. And the second would be involves cleaning up the Yancey building that's currently behind the museum at this point in time. The staff's position has always been we've been trying to work with the Historical Society. One of our concerns with the Rose Garden is just ensuring that we have the proper groups and persons identified and in place that would then take care of the Rose Garden after it's installed. Many of you know who have roses, they require a lot of love to keep them looking nice and beautiful, and if they get neglected just a little bit, they will, they'll fall into disrepair. So I'm sure they'll address that tonight. And then the second thing was they wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Yancey building. So I'm going to actually turn it over to the Historical Society at this point.
Mary Moore, 1442 Q Street, President of the Newman Historical Society. Excuse me, Mayor and City Council. I'm here again to ask for some help from the City Council. We are concerned about putting in a rose garden back in the park as it was. I moved to Merced Street in 1946, and they had a rose garden in there. I don't know what year they put it in, but I remember walking on the rocks. It was rocks instead of binder board at that time. And we would kind of like to do that again and then have roses, one spot for memorial flowers for anyone that loses a loved one, that they can put a flower. We have not found how we're going to mark them yet, but we will work on that. We got a estimate from Joe's, and we have a drawing of what it would look like. And we've also worked with Mr. Reynolds on this. And I think a lot of people that aren't involved in it now, when they know that we put the rose garden back into the park, someone needs to cut the heater. Mr. Ed Caton's dying over
I'm
there.
signaling the staff back there. Hopefully somebody could make some adjustments.
But it was always a special place, and I think it would be a special place for a lot of people. I know I have people that I would like to put roses out for in memorial. So that was what we have, and Joe gave us an estimate how much he would charge us to put the rose garden in, not the flowers, just the pathways. There'll be a bench in there. Mr. Reynolds said that he had a bench that maybe we could use, but it would be done by Joe's Landscape, and if need be, coming down the road. He also gave us an estimate and told us that he would come and help us with the pruning. I have a letter from Mr. Optimus. I also have a letter from FFA, horticulture class, saying that they would like to join us. There's one coming from Women's Club and one coming from Garden Club also. And whenever need be, all we had to do was ask them to come, like a certain day, to prune the roses or whatever. Mike, I hate to disagree with you, but I got rose bushes in my yard, and those poor things, I never do nothing to those rose gardens. They're probably not taken care of like they should be, but they bloom. And we have 4 clubs, and Joe also will come and help us with the rose garden. Another thing that we were concerned about was we thought about putting the fountain back into the John Sharp building, and found out that we have to have a fluoride system running through it, and it had to be checked every week. So we scratched that. We would like to have it, just clean it up and make it look presentable. And also the cannon, which just mostly needs cleaning. It's not in too bad of a ray right now. We are concerned about the ANSI house. We have an estimate on painting it, cleaning the signs. The overhangs would be straightened and sanded. The porch would be sanded. The signs on the building would be repainted and replaced. And the building would be clean and painted. We realize that the city might still take it to their plaza, but for that time, we would like to clean it up some.
Any questions of Mary? When I got my packet, my first thought was, and I know I thought that we had talked about it years ago, and I asked Michael tonight whether or not it would qualify for any funding from the RDA. Since we're trying to make sure the state doesn't take it from us, we might as well spend it locally if we can. And he's told me that he's emailed our RDA attorney to see if it would qualify for any funding. There's some restrictions as to some of that money, how it can be used, and we may not be able to use a lot of money towards the refurbishing of the Yancey house, but there may be some funding available to do some other minor work, and he's checking on that. Michael, if you want to address that.
Yeah, again, I sent an email to our RDA attorney, Ms. Yang, and just asked for some clarification. My understanding is if it's accessibility issues, handicap accessibility, and a few of those other things, we probably could be able to use RDA funds for that, but typically you cannot gift funds for painting and sanding and those types of improvements. So
Yeah, we would not use it, we would not, because of the condition, we would not use it inside. It's just to make it look nicer.
Sure. Any other questions or suggestions, recommendations, or comments regarding this project? Obviously, it's a worthwhile project, and always, Mary, it always comes down to, the funding part of it, and I'm certainly in favor of any way that we can help. I would hope that we can, but again, I have to leave that up to staff, to identify any possible funding sources. I'm certainly not opposed to the Historical Society for wanting to jump in there and do whatever they can. I don't know what kind of funding you have to do. I certainly think it's worthwhile
We've
doing.
had donations.
And I'd say if you have the ability and capability and finance ability to do that project, I would certainly support it and say, yeah, let's do what we can to make the building look nice.
We have an estimate on how much it would be to fix it.
And
Just to make it look nicer.
And you have the funding source.
Yes, we have it.
So what you're asking for is permission?
Permission to do it.
I'm
Tom,
not
what's
opposed.
our liability as far as any workers down there?
We'd have some, obviously. I mean, we'd be the deep pocket. So if anything happened, we'd be the one somebody looked to. But I think if we ran it by our RMA, they wouldn't see a high risk on this.
And in terms of the Rose Garden, also, you have funding
we
mechanism
do.
for that as well?
Yes, we do. We've been saving.
Wow. Can you loan the city any money?
We've been getting quite a bit for memorial from people that passed away.
Yeah.
And so we've been hoarding it and not spending it loosely on anything that we don't need because we knew we had these things coming up, so we've been saving it.
Don't say it too loud. The state of California's still looking to jam people.
Anything they can get.
We're going to spend it if you let us.
Council?
No, I'm very much in favor of the project. I think it's a great thing, and I think that things like this that have been lost for one reason or another, and when you try to bring them back, I think it's really important that they, I would hope that some way the city could participate. I don't know, I know maybe funds are hard right now, but, and they're saying they have all the funds to do this, but it would be great if the city could.
Yeah, we currently have California Consulting and continuing to look for grant opportunities to help restore the back of that building back there. And I know they've been doing a lot of work with moving equipment in and out and those types of things. So we continue to beat the bushes for, as you know, grant funding at all levels these days is very dry. But we'll continue to search that out.
We worked very closely with Mr. Reynolds and got his opinion on it, and it's worked out pretty good.
Well, I think what I hear of consensus, the council is,
Do we need to make a motion, or?
Yes.
I'd make a motion that we allow the Historical Society to do the Rose Garden and the cleanup to the Yancey Building as proposed.
I second that motion.
a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And Mary, I'd be happy to help out if you just let me know when you guys can have a work day. I'd be more than happy to come down and get in the way.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll call
right.
you.
Thank
you very
All
much.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to item C. It's adopt resolution number 2011, next to number resolution awarding a contract for the PQRS&T Fresno, Merced, West Avenue Infrastructure and Street Reconstruction Project Phase 2. Garner?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The item for you tonight is consider awarding a contract to Greg Opinski Construction for the PQRST Fresno, West Avenue, Merced Avenue Infrastructure Street Reconstruction Project Phase 2. The city receives CDBG grant funding from the Stanislaus County Consortium for income-eligible areas bordered by Yolo, In Street, and Inyo Avenue in the western city limits for these types of projects. The first project we completed was in 2010, the first phase, and that was curb gutter and sidewalks and related street infrastructure projects improvements around the Hill Park site.
This project is for Phase 2 for this year, and it consists of removal of approximately 47 trees, removal and replacement of 4,900 lineal feet of curb and gutter, 2,700 square feet of sidewalks, and some driveway approaches and incidental paving on S and T streets between Inyo and Yolo. The replacement of the trees, we're hoping that we get a grant that we submitted for with council's authorization back in January of 2011. If we can get that, then we'll use that funding to surplant and replant those trees. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to look for other means inside of the city to hopefully replant those trees after this project is completed. So we're not going to go in and just clear cut the trees and not put them back. Our intent is to go back and put those back in. A lot of those trees are really causing a lot of problems with the curb and gutters and the drainage. The last rain event, we had a lot of water that went out all the way out into some of the travel lanes due to the trees uprooting the curb and gutters. So that's this project will hopefully take care of on these 2 blocks. City advertised for approximately 3 weeks and received a total of 7 bids. They were open and read on March 11th of 2011. The lowest responsible bidder for the project was Greg Opinski Construction with a bid amount of $315,745.69. As I stated earlier, there is funding in 1011 through the CDBG Consortium, and we estimate approximately $322,500 left over in the fund at this moment. Therefore, staff recommends the City Council adopt a resolution awarding the bid for the PQR ST Street, Fresno Merced West Avenue Infrastructure and Street Reconstruction Project Phase 2 to Greg Opinski Construction for a not to exceed amount of $315,745.69. If there's any questions this time, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions of Garner? Garner, how, I'm sorry.
Notice there's a pretty good difference between the engineer's estimate and the bids, even the 2 or 3 lowest ones. Is there, especially in the ramps and different things like that, is there
a reason why that would happen? More than likely, in looking at the bids, we did have 2 bids that came in within about $1,100 of each other. If you look at the abstract of the bids, probably the biggest difference that we're going to see is the cost of the concrete. I'm not sure if the material costs went up. You know, and the engineer did the best he could on guesstimating what the project costs were going to be based on best available data. We really thought that the bids would come in at $264,000, but they didn't. If you look at the cost for the tree removal, we were a little high on our estimate on the tree removal. We estimated $34,000, whereas Greg Opinski came in at $28,000. But then when you get down to the curb and gutter, that's when their costs really start separating, and you can see that the cost for the curb and gutter. And the curb and gutters that they have in the older part of town are not the standard now of a 6-inch vertical face curb and gutter. They're a 10 and sometimes a 12-inch. So they don't have a standard form that they can use. So that may be why some of the costs are increasing on the estimate. The standard form now, you can use a machine, you can come in, you can pour with the machine and get in and out fairly quickly. These are all going to be custom and hand formed. They're not doing long stretches or some sections where you're replacing 20 lineal feet at a time, so they have to come in and set up, and that might be why some of the costs are a little higher than the engineer's estimate.
Any other questions? Garner, you're comfortable with Opinski? Have you worked with them previously?
I haven't worked with Opinski, but I've worked with his 2 subs. One of the subs is Greg Ramirez Construction. They did the concrete work on the Plaza project and did a really good job for us. The other sub is Grover Landscaping, who worked on our Hill Park project for us. So I'm comfortable with those 2. Haven't worked with Opinski in the past. I did speak with someone today that gave them a good recommendation, and our engineer, AECOM, has been in contact with them and informed them that we are tight on funding on this project and that we will not be looking forward to any change orders on this project.
Great. Okay. Council direction?
I so move that we adopt resolution number 2011, next number, awarding the PQRST Fresno Merced West Avenue Infrastructure and Street Construction Project Phase 2 to Greg Opinski Construction for a not-to-exceed amount of $315,745.69.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item D is adopt resolution number 2011, next number, resolution supporting an application for Caltrans Environmental Justice Transportation Planning Grant for the South County Corridor study.
Thank you, Mayor. I say it the same way.
Revitalization.
Revitalization, that's a tough word for me as well. Thank you, Mayor. As you stated, the item for you tonight is adopting a resolution supporting the application for a Caltrans Environmental Justice Grant for the South County Corridor Revitalization Study. South County Corridor has been in the planning stages for many years, and there's been several studies done, none officially adopted by the STANCOG board. There was the Measure S that was a failed attempt, but in there included a South County corridor. The purpose of this is to come forth with a planning grant for a revitalization study to provide an overview of some potential strategies, project alternatives to improve the community involvement in the planning process for improving mobility on the west side. The revitalization study would also analyze some existing and the feasibility of potential corridor alignments which could enhance the regional connectivity, improve goods and movements, and influence and contribute to the economic vitality for the west side. The cities of Patterson and Newman and Turlock and Stanislaus County are partnering with STANCOG to apply for this grant. Stanislaus County has offered to provide the local match. It's a $250,000 grant with a required $25,000 local match, and Stanislaus County has offered to provide that match. The partner subrecipient agencies are also preparing their respective support documents. Participation in the planning process for the South County Corridor will provide an opportunity for the City of Newman to provide input and direction regarding the needs of our community regarding the South County Corridor. As I stated, there is no fiscal impact. There's just the participation of staff's time in this study. The timeline for the study is approximately about a 2-year study. About 2013 is when they're anticipating coming forth with the documents in the study. Therefore, staff recommends the City Council adopt a resolution of supporting the application of a Caltrans Environmental Justice and Transportation Planning Grant for the South County Corridor Revitalization Study. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Questions of Garner? Do you think this project will pose any problems similar to the North County corridor that they're dealing with now?
There is that potential. There is some documents out there from the other agencies on their general plans showing an alignment that we don't agree with, which would be the West Main alignment all the way through to the north side of Patterson. Just this afternoon, I was in a meeting with those agencies and expressed that we would not support that alignment. We would support the study if that alignment was already predetermined. That our intent is to objectively look at the west side and see what best fits for all agencies involved, not just a couple of the agencies.
Exactly.
So they're revising the application. I saw a draft of the application, and the city manager and I agreed that that was not a correct wording, that it should be an objective look at it. So that's the approach that staff is looking at.
Well, I'm sure if we let them know where our objections are early on, they can address those properly.
STANCOG agreed that they're going to revise the application.
Great.
To show a more objective approach to the process.
I've heard some conversation already about some of the desires of how they want that aligned, and so.
Well, just looking at the ones that are involved, when you look at Stan County, you look at Turlock, and you look at Patterson, you're looking at direct routes.
That's right.
That's why we think that it's important the staff be involved from the City of Newman to
Absolutely.
voice our opinion and hopefully guide things in our direction.
And then hopefully our supervisor will jump on board with us. Thank you. Council direction?
I'd like to make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2011, next number, a resolution supporting an application for a Caltrans Environmental Justice Transportation Planning Grant for the South County Corridor Revitalization Study.
I second that motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. E is a second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2011, an ordinance, next number, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Newman approving First Amendment to the Sherman Ranch Development Agreement and authorizing staff to prepare and publish a summary of said ordinance.
Mayor, due to the state of California, HCD not getting back to us about the home funding, we're going to ask that you continue this item to your next regularly scheduled meeting, April 12th.
Okay. It's been recommended that we place this on hold until our next meeting, April 12th. Any opposition? Concur?
Concur.
Council concurs. It'll be put off till April 12th. Okay, item 11. Items from District 5, Stanislaus County Supervisor Jim D. Martini.
You gonna get home for dinner, Jim?
Good evening, Mayor Caton, council members. One of the few things I do really love about Newman is how quickly the council meetings go on.
Don't you wish the state could move that quickly in the feds?
I wish Patterson could move that.
But Jim, I got to tell you, it's a great staff that City of Newman has.
No, you have a great city here. So, I would like to make one comment about the South County corridor. We did put in for an application about a year and a half ago and got turned down for a planning grant, so this is the second run at it. Because I was involved with that at the time. Becky Campbell was the mayor of Patterson, and Turlock is insisting on using West Main out of Highway 99, and Patterson was insisting on using Zacharias Road to Patterson's south side. We were getting that grant to just go from Highway 33 or the San Joaquin River, I forget what, to Highway 5. But it was a competitive grant, and we didn't get that. So hopefully this time we'll get that grant. The alignment, you know how alignment is. The North County corridor, you just can't believe how they've been around and around for years on that alignment. But South County corridor probably won't be much different, but we've got to get started on it and come up with a route. So the two cities on each end of it want something different, and I'm not sure what Newman wants yet. But one of the things that I really don't want to see happen is that they use West Main to Crow's Landing Road and come out on Fink Road. And that is one of the possibilities they were throwing out. I think that's a very bad alignment. So time to get started on it. And other things, the next EDAC meeting, which is the Economic Development Action Committee, will be April 21st. If the city of Newman has any plans for getting a grant, there has to be a job-producing project. That would be the place to go to come work on it. We're going to run it by the committee. And we meet about every 2 or 3 months. We're trying to get some projects approved, so a lot of the cities do have projects in the works. I don't believe Newman does, but if you got something in the works, April 21st is the day. It's at the county administration building in the trading room in the basement on 1010 10th Street. As far as the West Side Healthcare Task Force, we are now trying to get a grant from Sierra Health. We formed a subcommittee at our last meeting, and then just about the day after we had that meeting, we got a letter from Sierra Health, who's offering in $25,000 blocks $1 million in grants for rural districts for health reasons. There, it could be nutrition or obesity. It could be outreach, and which is a lot of the things we do. We think that we have got a good shot at getting one of the grants, and so we're going to put together an application. Tentatively, we're going to meet in Patterson with the subcommittee on Thursday, but that's still kind of a little up in the air. You know how it is to get even 4 people together at the same time. It gets more and more difficult. But we are going to try and apply for the grant, and hopefully we'll be able to get that. Last time I was here, I told you that Emmanuel Hospital was talking to Del Puerto about an urgent care clinic. They did have that meeting. They are considering working with Del Puerto Healthcare District in a joint project with Emmanuel Hospital. We'll put in an urgent care clinic, something that doesn't exist anymore on the west side. Unfortunately for Newman, it's in Patterson, but it's but at least it's a lot closer than Turlock. If you have something that's needs attention, but it's not life-threatening, that would be the place to go. They were looking at maybe something that might be open until midnight. And right now, of course, there's nothing. So if you got a cut finger or a sick baby or laceration, don't really need to use an emergency room, but you have no choice at night. Emmanuel realizes that the cases like this are clogging up their emergency room in Turlock, so that's why they're interested. They've had one meeting already. I think a second one is coming up. I was there at the first meeting, and I thought it went pretty well. This takes a lot of planning and cooperation upon the two parties to get this off the ground, but at least they are talking. And the task force is still working on its Biggest Loser weight loss contest. Our next meeting will be April 28th in Gustine, where we will do some more planning. We are quite a ways along on it now, and we've put together, tentative program. We have the West Side Theater is where it's going to be already set. We have the caterer, and so this is our third shot at it there, so it's a lot easier each year as we learn from the mistakes of the past on how to do it better. So I remember last year the Highway 33 was closed, and there was a detour around it, and our speaker was about 20 minutes late. So that's so we're going to tell the speaker to be there 20 minutes early this year. Okay, that's all I have tonight, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Jim?
I have nothing on the Oris Denver flood project, so I don't have anything new on that.
And we're meeting Thursday, 31st, right? Are we still, Patterson and us, and are we meeting?
I'm not aware of them. Is it about the flood control
No,
project?
no, I'm sorry. Our monthly meeting.
Oh, yeah, right. It's the last Thursday of the month.
31st.
Yeah, let me check.
It's here in Newman, 7?
It is 7
It is
o'clock,
7
because the
o'clock.
mayor of Patterson,
Well, I have it on my
has to do
calendar,
it.
so I just want to make sure we're still meeting, so.
Yes, it is Thursday,
Yeah.
the 31st.
Yeah, 'cause I just talked to Lewis the other night, and he said he was still on, so.
Yeah, I
Okay.
talked to him a few days ago, too, and he said
Okay,
he was still
good.
on. So
All right.
we'll have our
Thank you.
monthly meeting on Thursday.
All right, thanks, Jim.
31st.
Okay, item 12, items from city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Next Tuesday, the mayor and myself and a couple of staff members will be traveling up to Sacramento. California Consulting has set up an opportunity for us to go and meet with all the different departments at the state level, State Water Resources Board, Parks and Recreation, Infrastructure Loan Bank, Governor's Office, our Assemblywoman, doing the full tour up there so we can talk about our projects and talk about the funding that we need to help them come to fruition. So I think it'll be a great opportunity for us. It's just basically us. It's the four of us and California Consulting that will do that. So as Garner talked about tonight, we heard a little bit about it, was the South County Corridor, and we're just now learning a little bit more about that. Originally, I guess there was a study done in 1991 that really talked about this South County Corridor, and it's really just in the last 2 or 3 years surfaced again, and I think a lot of that was due to the sales tax measure that came through not too long ago. Now, there's a lot of conversations about what that alignment should be, and our position is, even from a regional perspective, is we already have an east-west corridor, and it's called 132. Why would we create another east-west corridor 20 miles south of that east-west corridor? It doesn't really make that much sense. On the other hand, if you look at it, there really is no corridor in Stanislaus County, or I guess you could say Land or Merced County, but really that ties into I-5 south. Whether you're coming northbound on the south I-5 or you want to go southbound. So maybe that's something we really need to look at as a county. Is there's a lot of traffic that moves up and down the I-5. Maybe that's something we believe should be studied as part of this. So that's what we'll be pushing for. I just want to congratulate the council and thank all of our staff members. As you know, we won, the city won the John T. Silvera Award this weekend. I think that's a great testament to the great staff that we have and the people that are out there in the streets, keeping them clean, and and the officers keeping the graffiti and tackling the crimes that are going out there. Even our finance staff and making sure that we have the funds and we're collecting retribution or recollecting the money that we put out. So that was a total team effort. So I want to go ahead and thank them for that. And then lastly, we talked a little bit about having a grand opening event for the plaza, and originally we threw out a date of April 28th. It was a Thursday, and then the council said, "Hey, can you look at possibly doing it on a Saturday?" There's a lot of challenges with doing it on a Saturday. A lot of us, the staff members, it's hard to get our Saturdays together. We have First Communions coming up and graduations and lots of different events. So we'd like to come back to the council and see if you would reconsider and allow us to booked the date of Thursday, April 28th for a grand opening event. We also believe that gives us an opportunity and probably get better attendance from a Stancog board and hopefully try to get the Caltrans director down here and a few other people that may attend on a Thursday afternoon. So I'd like to do that from, maybe 4:30 to about 7:30 type event. So
Could we consider a Friday? Is that an option?
a Friday is always an option, yes, that we could do a Friday too.
I just
It's
think-
just, as you start getting into spring and summer, more and more activities start occurring. So that's why we're just we picked a weeknight that really helps hone that in. So, but again, we'll work with the council tells us to work with.
The only thing that,
I
one of the
I
things
just
that,
think.
oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
No, go ahead, please.
One of the things that I look at is we want the council there, and I know it's hard for a couple of our council members to get here on at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Well, the other thing I think too is that the plaza is for the citizens of Newman. And most citizens of Newman, Saturday is actually the day that we should have it so that as many people from the city can attend that live here, personally.
Well, and not to
I don't really care about Stan Cog and the rest of them.
right, not to down.
Sorry,
And
but
I'll-
that's the truth.
I'll second that motion.
It's the citizens, it's for them, it's not for anybody else.
Well, they're more than welcome, right?
Right.
Well,
No, sorry.
again, we were just stating, it was Stancog that gave us $2 million for this project. So, and they helped,
important.
that helped come in. And, we're constantly working with the chamber right now to have Saturday events down on the plaza. So it's not that we're not going to have Saturday events, it's just for the grand opening one. That's all we were thinking of.
I think what was brought to my attention is more so of the difficulty of our own staff as a group being able to make it because of
Family commitments.
But obviously, it's up to this council. You tell staff when you want to do it, and they'll get it done. So, the recommendation, the first thing was mentioned was the 28th, because I had even written it down on my calendar. But then I remember the conversation was, well, maybe we ought to do it on a weekend, on a Saturday, and let's do it upright. And so I think as staff has talked about it, there's a lot of our staff members may not be able to attend that particular weekend, and as weekends go on, there's still a lot of things. However, if this council wants to do it on a particular weekend, a Saturday, if we set it far enough ahead, then maybe those arrangements can be made by staff. So it's totally up to whatever you guys want to do. So the recommendation was, I was asked, could we go look at the 28th again? I said, well, you can bring it up and let's talk about it. So that's where we are.
And if you pick a Saturday, help us with the Saturday. Just pick it, and we'll make it work, I guess.
It's just, the thing I think about a weekend, I think that, this is big, as far as I'm concerned. What's transpired for this city and what it means to the city, and I want to make it something that people remember.
And I agree with you, but so here's the question: is how big do you want? I mean, if you're on a Saturday, are you talking bands? Are you talking booths and events and all those things? Because we were just thinking more of, it's a barbecue, and we'll get some hamburgers and hot dogs, and people can come out, maybe have some music out there, a DJ or something, and do that. If it's a Saturday, do you want it more grandiose than that?
No, my whole idea, and I think Nick said it so well, is that more people that can participate. I think that's what's important, that they can come out and be part of it. They may not, but I'm just saying that at least they have the opportunity.
Then, and trying to help staff put this thing together, are we then looking at an all-day event? What do you? I mean, are we still looking just a couple 3 hours in the middle of the day? Is it 5 hours? Is it 11 to 6? I mean, we're trying to figure out what kind of activities we're going to have to fill up that time slot, make it worth people's while to come down and spend some time. So we're just looking to you to see what your vision is for this event. We just want to make sure that we're implementing whatever your vision is.
Well, I don't think an all-day event. I was thinking more if we're on like a 1:30, 4:30 or something like that. So that
Well, the time could be the same as what you were going to use for
Or-
Thursday, other than that
Okay.
it's on a Saturday. I mean,
How about May 7th?
Okay.
I
Let's throw it out there.
Okay. May 7th, how's that?
Yeah.
It's a good day, is it?
He's got no agenda.
It's probably Mary's birthday. Is it yours, Mary?
No, but I was thinking, isn't communion,
May-
in May?
Communion is May 7th.
Yeah. Beginning of May.
But, I mean,
first part of May is also May Day Fair. I love our community, isn't it?
Yeah, who goes?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I don't go to it.
Well, if you put it out there far enough,
Mother's Day.
The back room has spoken. Mother's Day.
that's the next day.
Yeah, that's Saturday.
Saying on that day, I'm saying, be aware that a lot of people will be going out of town.
May 14th?
These were some of the challenges that we were coming up with as we started looking at these things.
Well, we pick a day and then,
14th?
you know, maybe the 14th. And then we pick the far enough out so everybody can make, you know, arrangements and plans. I certainly will.
Okay, so right now we're here in May 14th.
You just tell me when, and I'll put it down. I'm pretty flexible. It doesn't.
I don't go that far.
Mr. Holland, can I throw something at you? On April 16th, the Oakdale Model A Club is bringing about 10 cars into town. And the West Side Auto Club is also going to join them that day. Would that be a good day to have your party? Where we have, that's a Saturday.
There's an event being planned I'm going to talk about here in a minute, for
Okay.
April 16th with the police department and State Farm
Yeah.
at Sherman Park.
And that's a pretty quick turnaround to try to
Yeah.
get it all together, so.
That's the 14th.
May 14th. I can't make that date.
Well, I think, personally, I think that any date that's chosen is probably going to be a conflict for somebody. And
Yeah.
I think this council needs to say, it's going to be done on this day. Those who can make it, great. Those of you
May
who can't,
7th.
we're sorry. You know, and
I'm okay with that too.
May 7th.
May 14th. May 32nd.
I like that.
I'm liking April 28th a lot better.
Me too.
That's a Thursday.
I'm like going right back to where we were when we
Okay.
started.
It's going to kill you.
May, is it going to conflict with your golf game?
Oh, no, not at all. May 21st.
Oh, you're killing me. May 21st?
I think that may be around graduation time,
That's true, you're probably right.
Yeah.
so. Graduation started at the end of May, so.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably pretty close.
That's what we just talked about.
Yeah.
What about?
You know, I know kids are gonna
Any other suggestions?
April the 28th sounded like a really good day.
And again, I think, you know, as staff said, you know, depends on how, you know, how you want this event to come across. I mean, do you want it to, you know,
Well, I brought it up to a few people, you know, we were talking about it, and I mentioned it, and they felt the same way. The plaza's for the city, for the citizens of the city, so let's plan it on a day that more of the citizens can attend.
yeah. No,
That's what I was looking
yeah.
at, that's all I was saying.
And I agree with that, but I think we gotta also not forget those who, at least we extend that invitation to those who helped us get to the point where we got.
Sure, and we should extend the
Yeah.
invitation to all of us.
So, if they can make it, great,
Right.
you know, but just keep in mind, I think no matter what date you choose, there's gonna be probably conflict for somebody, and, you know,
We just plan it out far enough
That's
where
life.
people can hopefully make their, you know, personal plans or change them or
Okay,
plan
so-
for it.
A lot more citizens will be able to come on Saturday than on a Thursday afternoon.
Right.
okay, so the consensus is you wanna do it on a Saturday, which is fine. What Saturday would you like to do it?
May 7th.
May 7th.
The day before Mother's Day?
Uh,
Isn't Mother's Day May 8th?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think that's a bad
I'll take my
idea.
wife out to a date on Saturday the 7th, Mother's Day, downtown Newman.
She'll be thrilled.
Take
Yeah.
it, look where I'm taking you for Mother's Day.
That's right. I pick a flower from the tree well down there. And
That's why I think a week later is a good idea.
What happened April 30th? Did we just,
was April 30th ever in the mix?
No, I didn't bring it up because I won't be here. Well, I'm being honest. I'm in a Reno shootout. Sorry.
Okay, so
April 23rd?
is
No.
what was the issue with May 14th?
None.
Bob?
Oh, Bob.
I won't be there.
May 7th.
I think staff's looking for some direction, folks. What are we going to do?
I prefer, if we're gonna go out in May, I would prefer May 14th. Mother's Day weekend is it's hard to get, and people are going out of town and getting plans to go out on Sunday and everything, so I would prefer the 14th, but that's just me.
I prefer the 7th.
What's wrong with the 21st of May?
Too close to graduation.
You know what? I prefer May 21st.
Okay, since you're the mayor,
Graduation's usually on a
On a
Thursday.
Friday.
Since you're the mayor, we'll give you the
Usually on
honor, the
Friday.
21st.
Graduation's on Thursday, isn't it?
There you go.
But it
Thursday
won't
or
be till
Friday.
the end,
Okay.
May
21st then.
21st.
21st.
May 21st.
Staff, how's 21st sound? One thumbs up, two thumbs up,
I'm great with
3,
21st.
4.
I'm
May-
good with it.
I'm gonna make an executive decision. May 21st it is.
We're starting to sound like Patterson now, right, Jim?
What time do we want to do this? At noon?
How's the 21st, Bob?
Good.
Noon?
All right.
Did you want to still do it, you want to do it in the midday or like, again, maybe toward the end of the day? It's up to you.
Let's do it at 3 in the afternoon. How's that?
Perfect.
That way I can play golf in the morning.
3 to 6? Oh, sure, Ed.
Okay.
Yeah, just thinking about
Maybe
yourself.
maybe there'll be a band at the theater that night that'll come over. and give us
Maybe,
their
we
feedback.
can check with Ferris. It may well be, yeah.
You got some
Okay.
pull in that department, Mayor, why don't you?
I think Councilman
I
Hutchins
think
is on.
that's
is
right, he's on the board,
he's
isn't
on
he?
on that committee.
What, the West Side Theater?
Yeah.
See if they're having anything on the, what day?
The 21st.
21st.
I'm sure they are.
Man, you guys made that difficult. Okay.
That was tougher than anything else we did tonight.
All right, folks. Anything else, Michael?
That's all for me.
That's enough, huh?
That's enough.
Staff, May 21st at 3 p.m. Downtown Newman. Don't miss it. Be there.
Evening, Mayor, council members.
Hi, Chief.
I'm going to talk about a couple dates, but I'm going to give you no options. April 9th is going to be the crab feed. Tickets are still available. Come out and enjoy some crab and good time. April 16th will be a safety fair at Sherman Park, hosted by State Farm Insurance and the Newman Police Department. He's going to have a shred day, so bring all your tax documents that you want to get rid of from noon to 4 and shred them for free. So any paperwork you want to get
What
rid
time
of.
is that, Chief?
From noon to 4, it'll probably last a little bit longer. We'll have some canine demonstrations, information booth about identity thefts and any questions you want to have answered. We'll be down there. With that, I'm done. Any questions?
Any questions of the Chief?
You cannot move that. You don't have to attend.
And how's May 21 work for you?
It's great.
Cool. Smart man. Any questions of the Chief? All right.
No.
Thanks. Garner? I say we don't have fun.
I don't have any dates for you. So, ad hoc committee reminder about the ad hoc committee meeting, which is this Thursday from 6 to 7, maybe 8 p.m. I hope the committee members from the council can attend. We're going to be more focused on this one on impacts to the residential customers and commercial customers. We have some examples to demonstrate that. And so move that forward. And then we're going to talk about the next steps regarding the study and where we move from there. The test hole, on your items tonight under consent calendar, you approved the payment to Benucci, the contractor that drilled our test hole. And we have some preliminary results on that which come out So there's some really good water quality. They are preliminary. I don't have the results in my hands, but over the phone, the results I received. Normally our TDS, which is the hard water that we receive, is about 12 to 1,300 milligrams per liter. This test hole came in at 760 milligrams per liter. The DMC water that we were thinking about using for the surface water plant runs between 500 to 600 milligrams per liter. So the water quality on the TDS side came in pretty good as a preliminary result. Nitrates, the MCL for nitrates is about 45 milligrams per liter. This one came in at 8, so it's extremely low. And arsenic came in as a non-detect. So the preliminary results show that we have some pretty good water quality on this test hole. The gravel packs and the area that we got the good results from is quite a large area, so we should have a pretty good supply of water from that well as well. The range that they're thinking is 2,000 to 3,000 gallons per minute of good water. So just thought I'd give council a quick update on that. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions, Garner?
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lou, anything? Julie, got anything to say? Okay. Council, Nick.
No, I just wanted to make a comment about last Saturday's chamber function. Great turnout. I can remember 6-7 years ago going to the same function, and attendance was very poor, but this was fantastic, and I just want to congratulate the chamber on a successful dinner dance. It's great.
It was. Thanks. Bob?
Nope. No thanks.
Don?
Just one thing, as you all know, at our last meeting, we agreed to fund $30,000 to the radio station, the local radio station. One thing I would like to get, if I can get concurrence out of the council and maybe have Michael do, is one thing we don't have is either a funding or a spending plan from them on how, $30,000 to $25,000 he said he would have to get, which was from Gustine. He would have to use a bunch of used equipment and stuff. And he says he's applied for a grant, but I think it'd be nice before we wrote the check to see what we could, see what kind of funding or spending plan they have got.
I concur with that. I think it's probably a wise decision. Michael, is that something that you could contact Mr. Nail and tell this council would like to have a funding plan? And thanks for bringing that up, Don. It's a good idea.
That's all I have.
Okay, Roberta?
I don't have anything.
Okay, I just have a couple of things, and I just like to echo what Nick said. Saturday night was a great night, and I think caught us all by surprise, and especially Mike Meyer, who prepared all the resolutions, and I think I signed like 12 of them. But it was a great night. Kudos to the chamber. Vicki and the staff, I think, did a great job putting it on. Of course, theater is always a nice venue, but it was well attended, and it was a great evening. And the appreciation of the award, the plaque is up on the wall already. Thanks staff for getting that up there, and it's very nice. So thanks the chamber for recognizing the city, and it's the first time ever that award has been given to a organization and not a individual. So there's a lot to be said about that. So it's great. So again, thanks to the chamber and thanks to staff. A couple other things. I mentioned once before, Stan Cogg had asked me to try to appoint or get someone to serve on their Citizens Advisory Committee board on Stan Cogg, and I hadn't heard from anybody, so I want to throw that out again if anybody's interested in sitting as on the Citizens Advisory Board. And they meet once a month, and it's advisory to the Stan Cogg board, which I sit on. And it's important because things such as the North County Corridor and upcoming South County Corridor, a lot of different things that Stan Cogg is involved in with their funds. There's a Citizens Advisory Committee who also has input on that. So if anybody's interested in serving on that, please let me know. I get at least one email a week asking have I got any name yet. And I keep telling her, not yet, but it's a way for us to have a local voice on that board. So if you ever want to know a little bit more about the inner workings of StanCog, now's a good opportunity as a citizen to sit on that board. So if you're interested, please get hold of City Hall or staff or myself, let me know, and we'll get you the right connections. The other thing is the annual letter I get from the civil grand jury. They're in need of individuals from the west side, specifically Newman, and I've been asked to submit a name or names of possible people who might be interested in serving on a civil grand jury. So if you have a desire to do that, again, please contact me, and I will put you in contact with the right people at the civil grand jury. And if you're interested in serving on that, I see some potentials out in the audience. Heads are shaking no vigorously. So anyway, so the viewing public, somebody has an interest in serving on the civil grand jury, please contact me and I'll put you in contact with the right people. So with that, I don't think I have anything else. This meeting is adjourned. Good night.